Wow. Tech guru.
What a day. I'll tell you. Bananas.
Jeepers creepers.
That's what Gwen Stefani was singing about.
Don't speak. Mm-mm.
I know just what you're saying. Excuse
What
me,
you eating
mister.
on?
Chicken dumplings.
Oh, tasty. I had some of those last night. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Out of all the dishes and all the lands.
I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing though. Like what do you consider? Well, this is chicken and dumplings. I don't know if the and is relevant. It's not a chicken flavored dumpling.
Oh, you got the soup? The chickens and dumplings soup?
Yeah, with
That's good
with
shit.
bread. There's like bread in it, chicken, celery, and carrots.
Good. You gonna eat that for the whole podcast?
I'm thinking about
Slurp it up. Slurp it up.
it.
Eat the dumpling.
It's so good.
ASMR dumpling.
You bet.
Oh God.
Better than ASMR dump.
Fuck. Oh, it's on your beard. Oh, it's great.
Fuck. All right. That's enough of that experiment. Okay.
You gave it a go.
Well, I am
you gave
ready.
it a go.
Yep. I gave it the old college try, and just like college, I failed miserably. So
Let's go.
let's just start the show.
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for this.
Hard for this. Hard for this. So hard for this.
I'm not
So
sure.
hard. Oh, my mic's dropping. This is going smoothly.
This is a really good. This
what
is
in
good.
the fuck is going on?
I'm glad this is just a test run. Boy, this would be embarrassing if this wasn't the real thing.
Be really embarrassing if we called this episode 43, and it really was. And the last episode that we called episode 43 was 42, and we maybe called it 41, and we don't even know where we are anymore.
I said, what is it, 41, 42? You're like, it's 43, idiot.
I said I had it written as 43.
You stupid idiot. That's what you called me.
Did I?
No.
I might have
but
implied that. You may have felt that way. Hey, if you
I
feel
did.
like a stupid idiot, that's on you. Okay. If I make you feel like a stupid idiot, that's your fault. Is that gaslighting? I think that's the proper definition.
It's not okay, whatever you're doing. If this was a corporation, if we LLC'd this podcast, I probably would get you for workplace bullying.
Threats, violence, all the good stuff. Speaking of work, guess who got a raise this week? Oh,
man,
fuck.
I hope you mean me. Dang, I think he means himself.
Yeah, I'm here to announce your raise. Nationwide Allstate, Geico State Farm conglomerate has offered me the ability to give you your money laundering insurance scam, whatever raise. I'm just kidding.
A name for anything.
Just kidding, you guys. Insurance is legit. They're in the business for you. They want you to get the care you need as quickly as you can get it. That's part of what it is. They're not in the business to make money. Oh boy. No comment.
About your raise.
Yeah.
So how did this come about? Is this an annual
it's just a timed
raise?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Twice a year. You just get more monies. It's the best part of working for every 6 months to get a wage review, and guess what? Always goes up. You gotta be a real dirtbag.
And last time after they took a bunch away, this time I went in the right direction.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I wish more jobs had the balls to do that. Like, let's be honest, there's a bottom percentage in everywhere. So maybe more jobs should reward the good people and start literally reducing the pay of other people. Now, the money has to be proven to be allocated elsewhere to another employee, but maybe that would, bring out the best of
we all fight for the same pot.
And really, I think that would really improve the teamwork aspect. I really do. Where you're like, I got a raise. Funny, that's my money, and now my kids aren't going to be able to eat. You're like, yeah, but I deserve this, and clearly your kids are just shit out of luck. I think that
what is that?
Teamwork.
Just straight up capitalism? Oh man.
I'm joking.
Dude, coming in hot
capitalism,
with the economic takes. Money.
Capitalism.
Dude, I know a lot about
Capitalism sounded so good like 200 years ago. Like when we wrote it all down and started working on it, we were like, this is going to go really well. And then even all the way through like the 50s, we're like, you know what? This is going to be okay. And then things just took a turn, and now it's a dumpster fire.
It's funny because when we were growing up or whatever, going through school, it was like, I always heard the quote that, communism looks good on paper, but in reality, it doesn't work. And I'm like, I don't know. I think maybe that's true of capitalism now, isn't it? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, America. Hard. I'm breaking it to you. It's not good for everybody. All right. I mean, I'm doing all right. I'm not complaining. I have insurance. It's fantastic. And I got a raise. So I'm having mine. It's the haves and the have-nots. And guess what? I get a podcast that literally dozen to dozens of people watch and listen to.
Whoa.
I'm living
dozens
the dream,
and
baby.
Dozens?
I'm living
dozen
the dream.
Of people. Yeah.
Dozen and dozen. Yeah. You guys know. You watch every episode. I quit finance freshman year. We know this recently, so don't come to me for financial advice, political advice. I don't even know how we got onto this. Oh, here's some money talk though for you. You ready for some real money talk? I mean, besides the raise.
Sure.
We talked about what we were proud of last week. Something else I'm proud of. I just got my first ever miles credit card where I'm going to start accruing miles, baby. Let's go. We're going places.
Wow.
Never had one in my life.
He's doing it, Peter. You're doing it.
Doing it. I know.
This is the way.
Did I ever? Well, we sort of talked about it in the fact of like in my like college years, early 20s, I was a voracious spender of money I didn't have. Like I spent it on experiences, things like going to Hawaii, traveling, like stuff I didn't know, because didn't grow up with a lot of money per se, or I mean, obviously we were okay, we could eat, but I know my parents, especially early on when we were really young, struggled to make ends meet, and over time they got some good enough jobs to keep us going to school and clothed, and whatever was hot at JCPenney that year, I was wearing them. Arizona jeans,
heck yeah,
blue, purple, green. They kept me in the hottest bugle boy that there was.
The toppest, the buglest of boys. He was. Yeah. He was the buglest of boys.
Yeah.
Although, oddly enough, though, could not afford a bugle, but we did get you a trumpet. Yeah. So.
No, for my birthday one year, I was allowed to do bugle fingers. So that was a big, big deal.
Man, what a day. Yeah. First bugle fingers, now a raise. Everything's coming up, Matt.
Yeah. So I was like a terrible spender. And so by mid-20s, I was like super fucked. I had like, well, not to mention school debt, which didn't get as fucked by that as a lot of other people do because I got a lot of money to go to college. But just credit card expenditures, stuff like that. It was terrible. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is bad. Then I moved to DC, and really, really expensive city and a not a great paying job. So I just kept going. Yeah. So it was like,
I was just going to say, so I obviously did the rational thing, moved to a very expensive city to live in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
But yeah, I just got myself into a super amount of debt and just had to cancel all the credit cards or whatever and had to consolidate it all, like pay for it for years. And I was like, fuck that. I'm never getting a credit card ever again. I don't want this. It was terrifying. It was like, you get these calls and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't want this. I don't want this in my life. Like people calling me for money. I was like, this is the worst. So I just started like, whatever, just debit card. And I basically did that for the rest of my life up until this year. Like everything I bought was just straight up cash monies or debit. And then this year I was like, I have a really solid car, but I might want a new one. I might want a car from the 2020s. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to buy that with cash monies. I'm going to have to get
I'm
credit,
gonna
but I have like
I'm
no
gonna
credit
need
anymore.
to work on the credit.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I've got like not zero credit, but I had the credit of essentially an 18-year-old, you know? And it's like, I got to build this. So I did. So I'm pretty proud of that. I got to say, like the last few months, I've been dedicating myself to improving. It's already gone up like 200 points, like easy in the 700s now. So now I was like, I'm getting all these credit card offers, and I was like, because it keeps going up, and I'm like, let's do it. Venture card, baby. Give me them miles. So now that will appease not only my financial goals, but my yearning for travel. After the New York City trip, I'm ready, baby. I'm going to start. I'm going to buy like 6 PlayStation 5s this week, and then I'm going to Paris.
Yeah, see? Yep.
I got it all figured out. Yeah.
Good.
Planning,
Good.
financial planning. Yeah. But no, I mean, I do got to say, like, that's probably one of the best benefits of having come back to Auburn and working with a company that's pretty legit and pays pretty well for what I do is like, it's easy to like get stable and like things aren't that expensive here. I mean, there's not a lot of things here, but they're relatively cheap. So
yeah. Jersey's the most Jersey's the most expensive place I've lived. It's not cheap.
Do you guys what's your home domicile situation? Do you guys rent or do you own?
No, I own the house. I own
Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Dude, I can't believe I haven't even asked you that. Jeez.
Yeah.
Should have been question number 1.
But similar to you, after college, I had no idea what I was doing. I was living in Auburn, working at a hotel. For those of you that don't know, hotels pay absolute dog shit to their employees. I moved out of my parents' house, but moved in with a friend who was very generous with what he was charging me to live in his house. I think it was $150 a month.
Holy shit.
But I was literally making less than $10 an hour at the hotel. And this is in 2009. That's when I obviously solved the problem by moving to North Carolina with no plan, no job. But I moved down there with a 1996 Toyota Camry. Started working at Sbarro.
Wait, the Camry that I know? Is that the same one? Oh my God. I can see it right now. Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I started working at Sbarro. That also paid shit for assistant manager. I think I was making $9.75 an hour. God damn. Yeah, dude. And that was in 2010. So then I moved back to Syracuse, and I'm like, I got to move home because I can't keep living down here because I'm not doing anything. So I'm like, I was going to move home, and I told my brother, Brian, who had just recently bought a house in Syracuse. I'm like, hey, is there any way I can live with you and Kristen? Because I want to come back to New York, but I can't go back to mom and dad's house. And he's like, yeah, you have to, he laid down some ground rules. It's legit. And I'm like, all right, I respect that. I'm like, I can pay you rent. He goes, you don't have to pay rent, but you do have to just abide by some rules and stuff.
Like what? What?
It was like, I essentially was asked to be home if I'm coming home at night, to be home. If it's not work related, be home before 9 because their dog.
Don't be a drunken mess being loud and coming in and.
Wasn't even necessarily that. It was just be home by 9 because their dog is insane and hates everyone other than them.
Okay.
And so the dog would just go nuts, wake them up, and they were both people that had like 6 a.m. or earlier jobs. So like my brother and sister-in-law would wake up at like 4:35 in the morning. So like that's why they're like, we need you home because we can't just be waking up at night. And I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm like, not my style, but again, I don't have the right to have a style. Like honestly, yeah. I'm like I gave in because I'm like, okay, whatever the parameters are. So my brother actually quick threw up some drywall in a portion of his basement and literally built me a bedroom before I came home. Like in the course of a couple of weeks, he built me a bedroom quick. And I was there for about a month and a half until I got the job at Geico and moved out to Buffalo. But like you, I'm like, all right, I sold the Camry had jacked up brakes, and like the cost to repair it was going to be like $1,500, and I'm like, I can't even afford that. So I literally sold the car on Craigslist with literally next to no brakes. Like I put in the ad, I'm like, this car has barely no brakes. You probably should have it towed. And the guy, I think he drove it away.
Oh shit!
But like I took off the plates. I notified my insurance that it was gone, and I like had him sign like an as is like contract of me selling it. I sold it for $1,000. Got the U-Haul, moved back, and then I'm like, I need a car, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have good credit at all. I also had in college had gotten jacked up with a credit card, not in drastic amount of debt, but like I've been bad with my student loans. Those were close to being defaulted multiple times. I deferred them as many times as I could. I just any style of credit I was doing wrong. So I never knew what my number was. But when we went to go look at cars, my brother didn't want to co-sign for me, understandable. My parents also said they wouldn't co-sign for me, which was understandable because I had shown no one any reason to think that I had a plan, because I also didn't have a job yet. I came back with no car, still looking for a job. So I'm like, all right, I can't get upset because all these people have valid reasons not to sign for me. So I'm like,
hey, can you sign off like $15,000 for me? I don't have any plan about paying it, but yeah, put your name on that.
I asked my grandmother, and I'm like, I want you to sign for a car for me because I'm looking to try to make things right. And she's like, do you want me to buy the car and you pay me? And I'm like, no, I want the responsibility. I'm like, I would like you to co-sign so I can get a better rate on the car. And so she agreed to do it. So I got, in 2010, I got a 2007 Honda Accord, signed a 6-year finance for it through Honda Financial. Got the job to Geico like 4 or 5 weeks later, and I never missed a payment. So that righted the ship. I started paying on my student loans, eventually got those paid off in 2020. So it took me another 10 years after I got the job at Geico to start doing that. I got another credit card, my first Training Wheels credit card, with like $500 through Capital One in
Capital One will give anybody money.
in 2011. And yeah, like I just had to build and build and build. And then by the time I never really checked my credit, but then it came time for, I needed to buy another new car in 2016. And when I went through Toyota Financial, they're like, all right, yeah, we're able to give you the best rate we have, which is 1.9 financing. And I'm just like, I'm getting the best rate you have. They're like, yeah, you have great credit now. They're like, you have great credit, no problem there. And I'm like, I do? I'm like, that's so nice. Like, it was so great to hear, like, because it was not the fact of having the number and sharing it with people, but it's more of like, man, that certainly wasn't the case. Like when the guy looked at like my credit, when he ran it by itself before I got my grandma to co-sign, he's like, basically your number's as bad as it can be. That's all he said. He never even told me what my credit score was. But he's like, yeah, the number's coming back basically as bad as it can be. I go, oh, okay. So yeah, man, but things are good. And then obviously I had enough to be able to buy the house. So right at the beginning of COVID, June 2020 is when I bought the house.
Dude, congrats. Yeah, have a soup about it. It is so hard when you're really bad at something to acknowledge it and have it in your face, like especially credit shit or whatever. Like it's hard to confront yourself about failures. It's so hard to like keep yourself honest. I've struggled with that my whole life because I it's always easier to have somebody else to hold you accountable, but keeping yourself accountable, I mean, it's a maturity thing for sure, but it's like, I would, that's why, I mean, I didn't care about credit for a long time because I was like, okay, I'll do what I have, make ends meet, and all that. But I'm not going to check my credit because I know it's going to be bad because I didn't, I don't even use it now, or I hadn't used it responsibly, so it's not even worth checking. But once I finally did and like confronted it, once I'm a man, once I'm 40, I was like, this is shit I got to get under wraps. And I was like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I was like, oh, but I don't really have anything on here. And I was like, okay, yeah. So it's fun. Yeah, I mean, it's been fun to like do it and be active with it. Now I check it like a few times a week because I'm like pumped up. It keeps me going. It's almost like going to the gym. You see the results, and it's like all this shit's going up. Man, you know what? Capitalism's great. I fucking love it, dude. It's so nice, it's so easy, dude. just get a job. Just bootstraps, get a job, and suck the man's. What? Oh. Oh, okay.
The 12 people, the dozens of people we have listening to this podcast just unsubscribed because Matt's being an asshole. Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, it really just comes down to laziness.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with me not knowing anything about really the credit system and still maybe not knowing it. Because then because this summer it was like, oh, I'd apply for one credit card and get it, or I'd pay for this and it'd be like one score would go up and one would go down. It's like, oh, but this one you want to have more credit available. This one you want to pay more. And it's like, this still seems like a scam.
It is.
Kind of. Shouldn't there be one score with very obvious like reasons for it to exist?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh,
the more I keep learning about it, it's not that way.
Perfect example. When I was setting up to buy the house and I was working with the mortgage guy, my credit score went down. You want to know what caused it to drop 10 points or like 14 points? I paid off one of my student loans.
Yeah. You got so one less account to be on that credit. Yeah. How can we trust you? You're not paying off on something. You little bitch. Go back to school. Rack up that debt, you pleb. Pay into it.
Yeah. And my score went up when I bought the house. Because that's like good. That's good debt.
Yeah. I really want a bass boat too. Maybe I can get one of those on credit. Yeah.
Dude, I hear bass boating, bass fishing in Paris these
snowmobiles
days are so nice.
Yeah.
I think you're ready.
Yeah. I'm exploring money options. It seems like something I should do at 40, in addition to working out. And it's so fun to like there was a kid, a guy we were talking to today. At the store about like different options for his advancement, his next roles, and he was just saying like, yeah, but I have this, I gotta be this by 20, and I was like, what? You don't have, like, it's so hard to explain to somebody like you don't have to, like, the thing he's worried about being by 20 is like, okay, well I did that when I was 38. So, and I'm not saying like I'm a beacon of like what's right or not, but I mean I was in different industries, but it's like, dude, if you hold yourself at 19 or 18 to a standard, they're not. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. It's a moot point. Nobody. That's why wisdom's so important. You don't realize it until you're older, but experiencing things is very important. I don't have to say anything else about it because you got to learn it and be in it. I don't know where I was going with that, but I wish I could tell these kids to
the wise old man
wisely
at Wegmans.
But I don't know, because it's like, isn't making mistakes? Would I have learned about credit and fucking it up as well as if I didn't fuck it up so well?
Hard?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think my true appreciation from good credit comes from me fucking my credit really hard.
Yeah, I know it does. That's a rite of passage, I think, in a way, is like, or it's, I don't know if it's a rite of passage. It's just the way. It's the way, because capitalism sucks, man. It's really hard to like.
At least you have more stories that comes from your poor money management. I really don't feel like I do, and I'm like, well, what the hell did I screw it all up on? I'm like, oh, I was just irresponsible in general. At least you have like, yeah, man, I went to Bonnaroo. I'm like, I looked at a bill and decided to buy a 30 rack instead. I'm like, that's about my irresponsibility.
I mean, yeah, I would say like some of those experiences I probably spent a lot on was like going to a bar or something, or like going, I mean, it was always in the interest of like trying to make myself feel better, which is not an excuse. It's a reason. So I did things that made me feel better. So I was able to live a life in a way that made me feel good. And maybe in a way, I don't know, like, did that cause anxiety and depression later on? Perhaps, but like, that's a rite of passage. It's a rite of passage. Still, if you're not broke, in debt, have depression and anxiety, what even is America? You can't get through it.
I'm here to tell you, America,
Yeah.
you're not a real American unless you've gone through horribly long bouts with depression, anxiety, financial woes, second guessing yourself.
Are we in trouble? That's a question I don't confront either right now. As a species, are we in trouble?
Oh yeah, we're fucked.
Man, it sucks.
We are on a consistent we are on a
It is.
consistent downward slope. Consistently.
I'm just wondering when. Is it our lifetime?
Even when you're having a good day, remember how fucked the human race is.
Oh man.
And it's not.
It does make
I don't even mean that in the idea of like the capitalistic and politics and all that. I don't mean it that way. I mean us as the human race. We're just shitty. Everyone's shitty. People are content in their misery. Like social media has made it drastically worse, in my opinion, because it's given everyone the okay to be just a sad, not even sad sack, but just an asshole to everyone else, and it's just anonymous pile of shit acting, and like, so it's we're just bad people. Like people are okay with
That's
being
sad.
piles of shit. Yeah.
Or taking from others. Like, I think my dad asked me last week, like, oh man, what, like this Israel Palestine. And I was like, I don't have a horse in the fight in terms, especially the religion shit, because I'm not even going to get into it, because that's like, it's crazy to me that people would fight over land about a fake thing, and let alone. But then it's like, I also don't get the idea of, like, it's sad to me, like, that it's like a 6-year-old could die because, like, somebody says this is mine, and then like, I don't understand the idea of ownership, of owning something more than somebody else. I mean, it's the same with the border. I get it. We can't have, like, or can we? Like, why? What's the cutoff? Like, oh, we can't have people coming in. Why not? I don't understand. Like, who gets to have things? Who doesn't? Who gets to decide that? Like, I guess I'm a little hippie-ish about it, but it's really sad to me that there's just people that will grow up and die in a place and have nothing ever, and we have so much, or I have so much, and and it's like, and then people fight over a piece of land because of what they think happened there or didn't happen there because of the way they believe, and I can't, like, wrap my head around it. And my thing is always like, I just want to be empathetic to human beings. Like, I really care about the human experience, and people lose out on it because some people want more.
Because
and I don't understand it, and it's sad to me.
No one wants to be just a human. That's the problem. But you have to pick a side. Everyone wants to pick a side. People don't, like, most people don't want to be objective. Most. Like, if you're picking a religion and you are literally using it in any sort of negative connotation, it's because you want to pick a side and you want to be right. You know you don't have any fucking backing to say that you're more right than someone else. And that's what bothers me. Like, if you want to have religion and keep it to yourself, or just commiserate with the people that also have religion and think the same way, I guess that's cool. But as soon as you think someone else is wrong because of their religion, you're a useless sack of shit. Like, you are, because you've decided you don't care about humans. Like you said, it's like, well, now you're no longer, like, caring. And then these people that are going around killing based on it, it's like, literally, you're killing people based on something that everyone is making up. You're all making it up. If you make it up to feel better, fine, cool, whatever. That's what we do with Santa and the Tooth Fairy. But, like, as soon as you start murdering kids because they aren't leaving their teeth through the Tooth Fairy, then that magical thing becomes a problem. Like so it's just, it's so completely
really
nonsensical.
Well said.
It is. Yes, yeah. I'm comparing your religion to the Tooth Fairy. Congrats. And the Tooth Fairy wins.
It's not even that. Now there's another level of, now you got to back. If you're not like as America, we're neither of these. We're neither of these. We're not Santa people or we're not Tooth Fairy people, but you got to choose which one you're going to support.
Correct.
To be right. And it's
correct. Like, yes.
Can I say I want everybody to live and live well? Is that okay?
Nope.
I can't do that.
Nope.
No.
Pick a side, asshole. Here, while you think about it, here's this lit Molotov cocktail. I'd pick a side to throw it at if I were you.
But it's not only that, you're a fucking asshole too. You're an asshole if you don't decide the right way or even decide. It's like everything exists, and it's a duel. You got to pick one or the other. You got to do it. Oh man, you're right. It is sad. What do we do about it? I mean, I sort of just said that tongue in cheek, but I don't know. Like, how do we live? What do we do? I guess I don't have an answer for it, but I'm just thinking, like, how does a girl like you and a guy like me, like, get married?
I'm not saying there's a chance. I'm not saying there's a chance. I'm not telling you there's a chance. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is that,
I'll tell you what, I spend a lot of money trying to be happy, money I don't have. I mean, that's part of it in a way. I mean, it's not because of there is a bit of for me, the one life to live element of it. When I have that decision, I do oftentimes make the wrong decision in the moment in terms of like that time or for that week, but because
that's when it presented itself.
I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to have this chance. Or I know this is stupid, but why not?
Everyone always says you never, like a lot of people say you never regret taking the trip and stuff like that. Like, especially travel. People don't usually regret travel. You don't hear about people being like, you know what? I just traveled too much. You never hear people talk about that. People regret the things they buy. Honestly, people regret things they buy and stuff like that, or trips they didn't take. But I've never heard someone say, you know what? I wish I didn't take that trip to Europe because now I'm fucked financially. People might say I'm fucked financially, but man, that trip to Europe was expensive, but it was rad as hell. Like, that still doesn't sound that bad.
And I was like, I wish I didn't go to karaoke night and sing Backstreet Boys that one time. I really wanted to stay home.
I've never regretted going to karaoke night. Never, ever. And I won't. That's the promise I make to myself. Now, you said that you are a proponent of karaoke, yes? Like, you're a supporter?
I am. Engager? Did we discuss our songs already? Like our go-tos?
Well, I keep a list of songs that I might sing in karaoke. Songs that are like within my range.
Holy shit, that list is robust.
Yeah, there's probably about 30 songs on here. And like if I hear a song on the radio, I'm like, oh, you know what? That would be a really good one to do in karaoke. It's easy. And I literally jot it down on this list. Do you know
I have a list that I think to do that, and I never put it on the list though.
You have a list of lists.
I have a karaoke list too, and I put like 3 songs on it, and I'm like, I'm going to add to it every time I think of a song, and I just haven't.
Do you have that list?
Like, what's on yours?
No,
I'm looking for it right now. What's some of yours?
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, you have the 3 song list. I want to see if any of them are on my list.
So that's gotta be. Yeah, give me some of yours.
It's tough, man. They're all over the spectrum.
Like us.
We have songs. We have Harry Belafonte, Jump in the Line. Definite crowd pleaser. People love it. Some more classic rock. Edison Lighthouse, Love Grows. How about some 90s alternative rock? Love grows wherever it goes. No. 9 Days, absolutely. This is the story of a girl.
Wow, Cake, that's good.
Cake, I Will Survive. Phil Collins, Something Happened on the Way to Heaven. Toes by Zach Brown. Soggy Bottom Boys, Man of Constant Sorrow. Metallica, Whiskey in a Jar. Jonathan Edwards,
if
Sunshine.
You're gonna do Metallica, that's a good one.
Paul Simon, You Can Call Me Al. Dion and the Belmonts, Run Around Sue. Billy Joel, Anthony's Song. Everclear, Santa Monica. Harvey Danger, Flagpole Sitta. Oasis,
That's a
Don't
good
Look
one.
Back in Anger.
Oh yeah, that's a gold star song.
Tonic.
It's because it's good because it's one that everybody knows, but they forgot that they know it. Those are the best ones. Where like
exactly, man.
yeah,
That's the
because everybody's
stuff.
gonna do Sweet Caroline or whatever, you know, all that stuff. But if you can do one that people forgot that they knew, yeah, that's good.
People love CCR. CCR, Looking Out My Back Door, Fortunate Son, Down on the Corner. People love that. Stone Temple Pilots, Interstate Love Song, real easy, great one to do.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Palmer, Bad Case of Loving You. That's a fun one. Let's see. Social D, Story of My Life. Ooh, Traveling Wilburys, End of the Line. Then I also have some female vocals if you're feeling saucy. See, now all those, if you saw the trend, is that those are male vocals, but sometimes you like to switch it up.
I was gonna say
Dolly Parton, 9 to 5. Very fun karaoke song. People love it. Madonna, Open Your Heart. Natalie Imbruglia, Torn.
Torn.
Heart Alone. That's a killer. Whitney Houston, Either So Emotional or How Will I Know. And then,
dude, you're singing Whitney Houston.
You don't have to crush the octaves. No, exactly. See, that's the problem. If I go out there and try to do that's where it goes awry. But it's karaoke. You don't have to. One I want to try is Leanne Rimes, Can't Fight the Moonlight, because I heard that for the first time.
Oh, from Coyote Ugly?
Yeah, I heard it for the first. Yeah. Yes, I heard it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, I don't know the last time I heard this. I'm like, I could do this song karaoke.
Yeah, that was definitely an early 2000s girlfriend movie for sure. Like, had to watch that a bunch.
Yeah, man.
I lean more.
There's 3 elements to karaoke. Karaoke success.
Let's
3 elements. So the elements to karaoke success are picking a good song, your singing ability, and your charisma or showmanship. So the thing is, all you need is 2 out of those 3.
2 out of 3. I like that.
Any combination of those 2, any combination of the 2, you don't need the 3rd.
Dude, that's good. Dude, that's a shirt. Dude, that's a real shirt. That's so good. I do not have a great voice, so I lean on 1 and 3. I can tell you, I mean, I don't know why I couldn't find the list, because I don't use it. That's probably why. And it's deep, buried deep. Usually, it depends on my level of intoxication. My go-to for a long time was Plush by Stone Temple Pilots, because that was like the one where when I'm, I got some drink, and I'm feeling, do one of those, and then because you always get at least one person in the crowd like, yeah, man, yeah. But it's like in that vein. I think the last time I went, I did a Backstreet Boys song, because that's just for everybody. You want to do one for everybody and one for me. That's my thing. One for everybody, one for me. Sometimes it's just one for me and I stop. But so Backstreet Boys, where I did the pop, look this way, look up, the kind of 90s dance, the very hard steps, dancing, very solid steps. Yeah. Not a lot of groove, but there were steps.
That's sticking to elements 1 and 3. You didn't need to be a good singer because you picked a song and you did showmanship.
Yeah. And then I did a refreshment song, Los Bandidos. Give your ID card to the border guard. That's the one too. It's like, most people aren't going to know it, but if there's just somebody that it hits with, they're like, oh, I forgot about that song. And you're like one of those great one-hit wonders of the alternative era. Like, those are fun. Female vocals.
That's a good song.
Alanis Morissette. Anything Alanis Morissette, I'm down with.
That's risky.
It is. Also, tough. The riskiest one I've ever done, and I regretted it because it was terrible. I would never recommend it unless, I don't even think 1 and 3 are going to help you here as much as you think they will. If you try to do a Queen song, you gotta. It's very difficult.
It's really ill-advised to try to do a Queen song.
Yeah, who's the if you got to put if you got to build a Mount Rushmore of karaoke, it's just either impossible to do or you really shouldn't do unless you're like Black Diamond level skier of singing. I
Yeah,
would
I
put
mean,
Queen up there.
for male vocals, definitely actually, well, Queen, because I've yet to see a man or a woman that can pull them off. I did Don't Stop Me Now dropping the octaves, but that's still really hard to pull off, to try to pull off
It
with the
still
same
goes
like
up and down.
intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not. I don't advise trying to do many Queen songs. Yeah, Queen in general is tough. Really, anything like Boston is really tough because those vocals are
Oh,
just on
the
a
vocals.
pitch.
Like doing Dream On, Aerosmith.
Well,
Like
yeah,
that'd
wasn't
be.
that your go-to? Have you tried doing Dream
Have
On?
I done that? I must have. I probably tried
I
it,
feel
but
like
it's
you
like
told me long time ago that you tried Dream On. I'm like, that
Dream
is tough.
On,
I would have
Dream
gone Sweet
On.
Emotion.
I don't know if I can
Yeah.
get there now. Yeah. But like,
Yeah,
can
I
you
mean,
do a? I mean, who are the greatest? I mean, it's hard to. I mean, how do you pick just like a few? I guess you can try anybody. I don't know why I'm saying you can't do it, but there's some that are just really chill. I mean, that's why when you say Whitney Houston, I was like, that's somebody for me that would be like, wouldn't even touch, wouldn't even go near. Like, that's ballsy.
well, you have to really amp up the showmanship and adjust. Like I said, is I'd have to put everything on 1 or 2 octaves, drop it to low where I'm comfortable doing it and can process what it sounds like normally and drop it down to my octave. But then of course, when her or Mariah Carey are doing like gradual, and just keep escalating,
Yeah.
you have to drop down and stuff. So you do have to get creative with it. But
So
it
here's
is.
one. What
Go
about
ahead.
I'd love to. I wish I could even try like Adele, somebody like that. Like, cause it's like all over. I mean, it's like it's not even about the register. It's just like the vocals are so good that I mean, at least people know it. You'd have to really number 3 it hard. You got to number 3 the fuck out of it. Like that'd be really hard. You're rolling in the deep. Like, how do you do it without like acting like you're totally sandbagging yourself, but sort of try? I don't know. It's a delicate balance.
But it is there.
You
Like
know?
I have my buddy Xavier who goes to karaoke with me a lot, and he's more of a, he has his go-tos that he likes to do. Now he pulls them off really well. I am not a fan of Radiohead. I never have been. But he does Creep, and like the room stops and it's
That is
really
good. That's a good
really
one.
good, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm like, he nails it every time. So he is very consistent and works at the ones that he does. Whereas I just like to keep it fresh with myself. Blues Traveler Runaround is one that I've done that people really like, because who doesn't love hearing that harmonica rip at the beginning? And they're like, oh, I'm going to get behind this one guy, whatever he does. Like, and that's
Yeah.
the
What's
big
your?
thing. That's what I really like, is
So
seeing
what's the
people in
policy
the
on a
crowd
musical?
enjoying it.
Yeah. What's your policy on a musical interlude in a karaoke song?
Okay. That's tough, because when I
So I
have
think
done,
you said the harmonica beginning, but like there's songs with guitar solos or a little kind of thing.
yeah, I've done, I've made that questionable decision on things like Down on the Corner with CCR does have a pretty, like a 12 measure interlude. One that I screwed up big time was I did the Doors, Touch Me. And it's really fun to do, but it ends with like a 20 measure interlude.
Songs that
and
end
then,
like that, yeah.
And then it has one line at the end. So the song keeps going, and it's just like measures. And I'm like, oh my God, this is brutal. Because you don't know what to do. You're standing there.
Cut me off.
Right.
Stop, yeah.
Please just end it. I got it. Like, you lay the mic down, it gives feedback. You're like, oh God. So yeah, it's tough,
Yeah.
man. You that's a trial and error. You pick great songs, and then you forget a part of the song does what it does, and you're like, oh shit. In your head, you're like, I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry, folks.
That's like some Billy Joel shit can have that in there, like long musical interludes. Or that's why, I mean, I would never do, I mean, I'd rarely do a Metallica song because it's like, guitar solo, 48 measures. Like, oh,
yeah, you
no.
can't do any of the old songs.
Yeah,
you can't do anything
Yeah.
old. It has to be like Whiskey in a Jar is a really easy one that you can do, and people like it.
Turn
And
the
it's a
Page
party,
would be good.
it's a party
if you
song.
could nail it.
Yeah, you could do Turn the Page. But that's tough. Yeah, people want
It is very hard.
Whether you're doing Metallica or Seeger, people want that robust, accurate singing voice with Turn the Page.
I've tried that one at home, and it did not go well. Just in the shower and stuff. I still try it, but yeah, I would say like 8 measures of musical interlude is probably the max. That's what you can go with, because you can 8 measures. You can get a little dance, or like play with the crowd a little bit, do a little mic like, hey,
And
yeah, we're having fun here.
Always remember, you can do a love song, but you can't do a sad song. Don't bring a sad song to karaoke. People want to enjoy themselves. So like if you want to slow it down and do like a love song, that's fine. But make sure it's not like sad, like ominous sad. Turn the Page is walking that line, because especially the Seeger version, it's kind of stays slow and a little like humdrum, but it's more of like the wanderer feel, like the vagabond. So it is kind of acceptable, but yeah, you can't go to a full blown like sad song.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time I've seen somebody really go full sad and at work, and I can't think of it. I don't even know what I would try for like real sad.
So now that would be fun, is go to a seldomly attended karaoke bar, one where there's a good amount of people there, but it's easy to get a song in, and just go with the saddest fucking song you can bring. Like there's got to be a song that's terrifying. Like, oh man, do you go to karaoke and you ask the karaoke person, be like, I want to go after the most wild out party song gets played, and then do Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton.
Yeah. The song is about my son dying.
We just buried my son earlier today. Yeah. And I just want to
jumped out a window. It's all right. Yeah. It'll be all right. Yeah. Raise your glass if you got one.
Oh my God. Ask people to raise a glass. Oh my Lord.
Please hold it for the duration. Yeah.
This is terrible, but it's so fun. Oh man, that would be, dude. That would be a challenge I would have to you, is to literally try to get the crowd, or go up there and try to get them pumped, but then drop Tears in Heaven on them, but like still keep doing the showmanship. Yeah. Would you know my name? Getting doing like the arm back and forth.
See, yeah, baby. Let's go. Wow, look at us. Tears in Heaven, politics, economics. What can't we talk about?
Credit scores.
Credit score. Keeping it hot and spicy.
Yeah, Strangely Familiar,
Scrolled'em?
brought to you by Experian and TransUnion.
Yeah.
Freecreditreport.com.
Go to creditkarma.com.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Yeah,
the newest. Scrolled'em. I like this. This is fun. I look forward to it. I almost just wanted to start it this week. I think in my head I was like, let's start this week with Scrolled'em. And I don't know how we didn't get there. It's weird. We like
didn't even come close
to plan.
Not even
didn't
close.
Even get. Yeah.
No.
All right.
Whoops. Stop.
Ooh, phone tapping, ASMR tapping.
I hope you're calling people.
Okay. You want me to go?
Yeah, sure. I didn't do anything.
Guy named Craig Smith. So he worked for a wine distributor. So a lot of my contacts on the phone are from wine guys. So because every Tuesday at the liquor store, as the wine buyer of the store, like I would have like 7 to 8 people from distributors come in. We would just taste wine in the back of the room. I had this like little freezer in the back room. We'd set up a little tasting table there, a spit bucket. Of course, you absorb it, you drink a little bit, Tuesday was the best day, because like from 11 to like 5 would just be like wine samplings, because you want to decide that's what it means to be a wine buyer, is like, what do we bring into the store, what works for our price, and then you're like, well, you can take this many cases, and then, but it's so great. Yeah, this is a Chilean Malbec that, you really feel that, the expression of the spice, the terroir, and you're like, yeah, totally, Craig. Yeah, I get it. It's like,
dude, yeah,
how much
terroir.
is it though? Yeah. Well, Craig was kind of fun because he was like, it's weird now because he was probably 40 when I was like 32. So now it seems weirder, but because he was like, I was like, this guy seems like he's trying to be way too cool for being like 45. because he'd be
Now
like,
you're
he'd
that
have a
guy.
shirt on that almost looked exactly like this all the time, and then he'd wear like the flannel, but then he'd have but he'd tuck in. He had the big belt buckle and cowboy boots, but he was like an old hippie, so he had a big kind of white guy afro with the goatee that hung down. He's like, cool man, I just went to this show this week. Yeah, no, the Pixies came in, so I took the old lady. We got a babysitter. He was always talking about how he went to this kind of alternative, whatever kind of show, and how it seemed like he was trying really hard to not acknowledge that he was 45 and a parent and a dad. Like he was definitely in on that. I'm a cool dad kind of thing. I'm in the wine business, and yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home to my wine cellar, and I have a desk because I have a desk at home, like that kind of guy. It's like, my home is my workplace. Yeah, I take care of the kid, but it's more important. Yeah, no, I got, yeah, no, did you see the Tragically Hip come into town this week? Yeah, I did a few mushrooms, just as much as I could do so I can get home to the kid, like he's like one of those guys. And I was like, this is a fun business. So cool. It's like, because you realize how much sort of and total bullshit the wine, and it is and it isn't, because there definitely is an element to wine that makes me appreciate it a lot. But the salesmanship of it and everything, and just the relationship building, I wasn't ready for at the time, but I did enjoy it. That was the best part. Like I met another guy who I did a couple years of fantasy football league with. I got to go to cool restaurants and spots I never would have gone to. It was one of my favorite jobs outside of just how much I worked. It was that fucked it up. But hey, catch a buzz at work. It's always a good thing. Thank you, Craig. Yeah.
Craig sounds like a legit guy. Sounds like
Yeah.
a great guy. Good guy to
Yeah.
know in a
Yeah.
spot. All right, let's see. Oh, crap. Which one?
Did you fat finger it?
Yeah.
Or do you not know who's who?
I don't know who's who. So I have two Jimmys in here. Both just labeled Jimmy. And
Do you remember either of them?
Well, I'm trying to see if the area codes give me any jog of memory. What the hell was that one? All right. Bear with me one moment.
Stop, don't come back.
Okay, maybe both are Jimmy. Maybe both it's the same Jimmy. So
same Jimmy, 2 phone numbers? Is this the richest guy you've ever known?
So I know Jimmy through a fantasy football league. Jimmy is God. I've probably played in that league with Jimmy for about 6-7 years now. Met him through the creator of the league. Jimmy, like me, has traveled distances to attend a live fantasy draft. Just something that I've tried to hold on to, because doing a live draft does have its own awesome elements to it. Something about a bunch of people heading around, having some drinks and throwing a name up on a board and have everyone react, as opposed to a fantasy draft room online. I met Jimmy through that and his girlfriend Brooke, and now they are married, have a kid. So you see someone's life progress, moving from Buffalo to Texas and then to New Hampshire. He was in the Dallas area. But yeah, it's kind of funny, being like, wow, I've actually known this person through a lot of points of their life. So I literally only get to see Jimmy once a year, but he's a really fun guy, and it's one of those.
You guys still do the in-person draft? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, where was it this year?
Rochester.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did we touch on that at all?
No.
This year?
No. What do you mean?
Did we talk about you going to a live draft in Rochester this year?
No, I don't think.
We have so much to catch up on.
Oh, wow.
We didn't.
But yeah, so
once again, back in upstate New York, didn't see each other,
Yep. Pulled it off well. I mean, yeah, for that, I went to that and went home. Oh no, that's when I was up for the Amon Amarth concert.
A sweet. Oh, okay. Yeah, all that. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we did.
Again, that would have been a great concert. I really wish I went to see Ghost. I keep regretting it. Could have went to a concert together, but I mean, then we'd have a story. We wouldn't have anything to talk about here.
I don't know. It sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jimmy is one of those adult friends. Wish we lived closer because he is a very easy, fun guy to hang out with. And as with those people that I find, they are not located geographically anywhere near me. So Jimmy, if you are listening, I know some of our, I at least know that our commissioner Tim does listen to episodes. You're our listener of the week, Jimmy. If you are listening, I'm declaring you as the listener of the week.
Go, Jimmy. Jimmy. Woo.
Classic Jimmy.
Sorry, Craig.
Oh, he doesn't know. He's on shrooms.
Craig
anyway.
got boned. Yeah, he is. He's fucked up. Singing Tears in Heaven. I sure hope not. Sorry, Craig. Jesus. Oh,
next week, our listener of the week is Craig's kid. If he's still with us.
You know what? That seems like a healthy
Sounds a good place to start.
healthy,
Or a good place to
happy,
stop.
sexy. You know what? When I took improv in Austin, one of the things they said was like, well, everybody knows the kind of the yes and rule built on the thing, but you want to keep it happy, healthy, and sexy. If you don't know where to go, just remember that: happy, healthy, sexy. So
What is sexy?
I think, just pretty, like beautiful, like just whatever you know, if you're trying to like come up with something, it's like that beard makes you want to eat sexy soup. Something like that.
I hope you didn't pay for this class if that's what you just put down.
Hey, I made it through a couple levels, had a performance. I had a girlfriend that went to it. It was a thing. Do we need to?
And they asked me never
You know
to
what? That
come
reminds
back.
me. This is a preview. We'll leave you the cliffhanger of the girlfriend that I brought there who kept saying no while the show was going on. We went to a show at the same spot, same theater, and she was just drunk, and she would go, people were doing the performance, she would go, no, and she was like saying it out loud, and I was like, shut the fuck up, like, what are you doing? Don't.
Oh no,
like,
with the person
like,
you brought?
She was the opposite of yes and from the crowd and saying no,
Right.
and I was like, what the fuck?
No, but she sounds great.
Yeah, I dated her a little bit. Hey, it was the first date. I had to give her a couple more years to figure it out.
Oh boy.
Let's treat our listeners to the shortest episode of Strangely Familiar that ever existed. We're at the 58-minute mark. And we could stop now.
Keeping it at 34 window. But
should we? Is this a real treat? This is the Thanksgiving episode. Oh, quickly. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Just going to Caitlin's mom's house.
All right. Do you bring anything?
I don't think we have. Her mom makes a lot of food, so she's good at making food. We're not. I'd be happy to bring something, but you got to tell me what to bring. Like, I'm not here for guesswork. Tell me if you want me to bring something. But other than that, nah.
I like the same. I would bring whatever you want. I'll bring cash. Just like let me know.
I will financially contribute, but I gotta be pointed in some direction, or else I'm gonna bring like nerd rope, and I don't even like nerd rope.
It's like it's almost like, because I'll be with my family, and it's almost like just your presence is all we need. And it's like, am I a deadbeat? Do you think, is that like you either think I can't make it, or I won't make it, or show up, or I couldn't contribute anything? It's one of those things. Like, just you being there is all we need. And it's like,
yeah, I feel like you're. But then the other invitees brings shit, and you're like, see, this is what I don't like. If no one brings anything, that's fine.
No, I'm the guy who didn't bring shit.
Right. If no one brings anything, that's fine. But don't tell just me that I don't need to bring anything.
Just your presence is a gift. Yeah.
And Thanksgiving's worse because it's almost like it's tough to bring something store-bought. Because people think of baking and cooking and stuff. It's like, so am I good to run out and grab a pie? Can I just grab a pie? Any pie? Or are we going to complain about the fact that I didn't make the pie? It's pie. Who cares?
Pro tip from a wine guy. Pro tip, Craig.
Wine?
If you're listening, rosé wine. Pinot Noir rosé goes really well with turkey. Easy to pick up. People like wine. There you go. You show up
Did you
with
say
something.
Pinot Noir Rosé? I thought those were different things.
Rosé is
Son of a bitch.
Can come from many different grapes.
Oh fuck.
But Pinot Noir is one of them. The pink comes from it getting just a small amount of skin contact on the grapes. That's where the color comes from. So rosé can come from many different grapes. But Pinot Noir, you can get a Pinot Noir rosé or just a light Pinot. You can do that. Just an easy Pinot Noir. Listen,
See,
have some mushrooms about it, you guys. Drink some Pinot. Have a
I
Thanksgiving,
hate,
all right?
All right. Go. Fuck.
Yeah, but I bet if you drink a little bit of it, you'll hate it less.
No, I'm not. No.
So happy Thanksgiving to all of our people who celebrate. To the people who don't, you're un-American.
Literally, you're not from America.
You're literally un-American. I don't know why I'm saying it so judgmentally, but
your tone is all wrong, man.
Oh god. Yeah. Hey, StrangeFam, I'm thankful for you and all the things that you do. So give your ID card to the border guard. If your alias says you're Captain Jean-Luc Picard, the United Federation of Planets, because they don't speak English anyway.
Everybody knows that the world is full of stupid people.
Stupid people. So meet me at the mission at midnight. Well, da-da-da, bam, 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 bam.
Isn't it